Okay, you see what we have built yesterday is we have got a database. This database is going to contain our data. Okay, and if you look at other part, that was the backend part, and there is something called front end. Still we have not gone to that. Okay, now at present we have built this much. We have created this database, and we had a database called as school, and this school database is containing a table called as student, and we have seen the queries. If you are not understood, watch that video once again, which I have already shared in the group. And already students, we have put around 3 students in the database. We have already stored them, and we have also established a connection between the database and the backend. Okay. Already we have connected, and I have shown that also. This was the work that we have done yesterday. Let me show you the code for that. Let me go to the page. This was our file that we created. Let me open the Visual Studio Code where we have written the code yesterday. You can see the initial thing that I done was I initialized Node using npm init-y for starting my project. Okay, as soon as I do that, I got this package.json file. These things were not there initially because these dependencies will be installed afterwards. Okay, only these many things we saw initially. Then afterwards we had to install some of the dependencies for our application, like Express for running in the backend. This particular backend is running using Express. Okay, and this is a framework of Node. This is a framework of Node.js. This will run over this one. Okay, and we are using this for connecting to the database, MySQL database, and EJS for building front end. I'll show you. Still we have not gone till there. And this body parser for receiving the data from the front end. Still we have not used these both. We have used only these two, right? If you come to the server, you see what was the initial thing that we done. We just imported Express, MySQL, this body parser. It was not required at that time, but let it be here. And then we created a Express application, and then we declared a port number. After that, we are using body parser for getting the data from the URL, and then express.static. This is to use a public folder. Still I have not created public folder. I'll create now, and you can see we have got a Weave engine EJS, and this was written to connect to the database. I have got MySQL database dot create connection, and this is going to take 4 things. One is host, means which system your database is located in, and the user. I have got my user as root, password is also root, database school. Okay, this database is already there in my database. Okay, I'll show you that also. And this is for creating connection, database dot connect. It will take a function. This is going to be a function actually, and we have passed a parameter error. If it is error, it will print database connection failed. If there is no error, we'll have this printed. Okay, this much we had done. Anybody any doubt in this one? Like yesterday you wanted to ask and you could not ask. Okay, this much we had done. Let me open Workbench also. This Workbench is actually connected to the database, and we will see what all data we had at that time yesterday. I have not added anything extra. I'll be showing you that once again. Fine, it is taking some time. Let it take. Now you see, in order to run this application, what we will be doing, we'll just go here, type node, and okay, this database has opened. You see we have got various databases. This is connected to my server, okay, which is there in Amazon Web Services, and this one is there in, these are IP addresses. Now you see, this is in local database. In my, this is in my system. This particular database is my system, and you can see I have got school here. If I execute this use school, you see what will happen. There is nothing highlighted here. If I execute this, you can see this is highlighted and you are able to see the table. Now what we will do, we'll go and we'll see what all data we have got in my database. For that, what we can do is select star from students. Table name is students. If I execute, you can see we have got 4 students name in our database. Got it? For this, you will have to write select star from students. Okay, this I have shown you yesterday. If you have got doubt how you can do all these things, once again you can watch yesterday's video. I have explained there in detail. Now what is our work? Our work is to fetch this data which is there in database to the front end. Okay, that we are going to do, and this is a most important thing that we do in any application, because getting the data from the database and showing it on the front end, it looks bit complicated, but I'll show you how we can do it in a simple word. Fine. Now you see, let me display a front end page. For that, what we require a new folder called as views, 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 and this views, in this we are going to create a file index.js. Here we will be writing all front end code. Now let me write this page as, it is taking some time. Okay, it is not JS, it is EJS. Rename embedded JS. This is a front end page. It should be EJS, and you can see this is a boiler code. Means this is the basic code in any of the HTML page. Okay, here I will write index page. You can write whatever you want. This is index page, and here I am going to write something. My first application H1, my first app. Okay, now I want to show this particular page in the front end. For that, what we will do, we will run this application. Before running, what we need to do is, we need to write a code here in the server. Whenever you get a particular request, I will ask it to serve this page. For that, what I will do, app.get. I am writing a get request code here, app.get, and it is going to get, whenever you have got just slash comma, and this is request comma response. This is a function taking 2 parameters, and whenever in the URL you type this slash, I want to send a response as response.render. I'll send index page. Okay, I'll send index page. Now you see, let's check whether it works or not. Node server.js. This is to execute, this is to run our application. As soon as I click, you see we are getting an error. It is throwing an error saying that server file is not defined. This is actually server.js. I have written spelling wrong. As soon as I click this one, you can see server is running and then connected to the database. Now we'll go to the front end page. We'll go to this. Here we will see localhost 3000. Now as soon as I click this one, you can see my first app. It is actually coming from this index.html. Got it? Anybody any doubt in this one? This was just connecting your front end to the database, front end to the back end. Now we are going to, already we have connected to the database, but we need to just get the data and show it in the front end page. That's all. Now for that, what we will do, you go to the server page. Here we are going to write another function app.get. Okay, you listen to this very carefully. It can be anything like students. You can write any URL here, students, and you should know the syntax of this. You will have a function here, request comma response, same, and then you will give a arrow mark. Okay, in this we are going to write, we are going to get the data from the database. For that, what we will do, we will write db.query. db.query. See what we had done in this place. Actually, we are writing SQL queries here. Okay, I'll just copy this query from here and I'll just paste it here. db.query will take this one, select star from students. Okay, comma, we have got, this is also another function, error, and then next results. Means whatever the response you get from the database will be stored in this result, and error if there is some error. Got it? Now if you click here, see this is also another function. This is function inside another function. Okay, now you see, if it is error, then you should do this console.error, error fetching the data. You can write whatever you want, but if you write exactly what you need to see, if there is a error, you can show that error fetching the data. Fine. Now you give comma here, or you can write plus, and you can just show what is the error, so that we are clear with this. And then we are going to send a response to the front end with a status code. You will understand status code when you learn HTML. This 500 is status code for internal server error. You might have seen so many times you get server error and all whenever you are logging in some of the applications. And then send error in the server, okay. Now fine. Now else, or already, okay, else you can show else response dot send, no, where we want to render a page. Okay, render, response dot render. You need a students page, and with students page I am going to send students data. For that, students, and you see in this function we have got two things, one is error and another results. Results will be fetched if this error does not occur, and we will be passing that results here. Means we will be sending this particular data with this page. This page should be there in the views. You go here, you add this page, students.EJS. I need to have it in views. Just say move, it will move in this one. Now here also we are going to create a table, students data. Okay, here you see, whenever you receive data from the backend, you need to display it correctly. Let me write here h1. I can write students data. Okay, students data, and I need to create a table. Let's see whether this much is working or not. What we will do now, we have made some changes in this place. I'll go to this index.js. Here I'll add a link. If you want, you can add, otherwise you can, it is better to add. I want to access students, right? This particular route, this one. Just I will write it here in the index page. In the index page I am writing, here I had written my first tab. Here I am writing students and get students. You can write whatever you want. You can write this also, not a problem. Okay, don't be in a confusion that whether we have to write specific thing here. You can write whatever you want, but you should make sure that this route is equal to this one, whatever you have got here. Fine. Now we'll just check whether this particular page is being accessed or not. Now we have made changes in the server file. This was our server file, server.js. So stop this one and again run this. Now you can see that server is running, connected to database. We'll go to our page, refresh this page. You can see here we have got a link. If I click on this, you can see students data. It means I am able to get the students data here, but the table is not displayed because still I have not created the table. Okay, anybody any doubt till here? I have just created a file, and in that file I am going to display student data here. If you have got doubt, you just ask me, I'll tell you. Anywhere any doubt, especially backend students. Now I am going to create a table in the front end page. All those who are learning front end, just concentrate on this, because you will also have to create table whenever you access data from the backend. Now you see, in the students table I want to create a table. For creating a table, you just write table, and in the table we will have some things. Already I have taught in the class. You can see in the table we will have, this is header, and these are called rows, and these particular things are called data. Okay, and these are called headers, table headers. Okay, these are called table data, and this is called table row. TR table row, TD is table data, and TH is table header, and this is also in a row. Okay, and this is table. Table will contain something, that is TH table header, TR table row, TD table data. Got it? This you should be knowing when you are creating a table in the HTML. Okay, I will show you how you can create. I have created a table tag. In this table tag I want to create the first row. This is table row. In this row, what all data I am getting from the backend? One is table header. In the table header I will be writing ID, and then next here I will be writing name. Okay, and here I will be writing age, because these are the things that are coming directly from the database, and then email. This is just to show on the header part. This is our first row. Okay, now we'll go for the second row. TR, it is second row. In this, what we will be writing? We will be writing JavaScript thing. You should know there is one function called as for each. Now you just observe the syntax of scripting of embedded JavaScript. It will look like this way. And in this, you see, from the backend I am sending a variable. You see here, whenever I get this slash students, I am getting the data from the database, and I am sending this page, this particular students page, with students variable. This is a variable which is having the results values. Okay, now go to this students page. Here I am going to have students dot for each EACH, for each EACH, for each student. Because see here, how many students we have got? We have got 4 students. If you want to show 4 students, you have to use for each function. This is first, this is second, this is third, this is fourth. There are 4 elements, so we will be using for each, and then for each whom? For each student, and then again a function. Okay, and we are not going to close this one here. You will understand why we are not closing here. We need to open it later. We need to display the data here. For displaying data, we will have to add a table row. Actually, this table row will come inside, because for adding this you will require a row. For adding this, we will require another row. For adding this, okay, For adding this, we will require another row. So this tr should be inside actually. I'll get it inside. Okay, this is inside. Now you see, in this table row, I am getting each and every student. From that student, I am going to display some value. Okay, and I am going to close this and this. For that, you use the same tag. Okay, and just you close those brackets. This bracket is open here. This bracket is open here. So you close this bracket first, and then you need to close this bracket. Okay, we have closed those brackets. Now in this table row, we are going to display the data. Okay, before writing this, I'll show you how the data is coming from the database. Fine. You see, in the server.js, I'll make some changes. I want to show you how we are going to get a data. In the else part, in the console.log, what I will do, I'll just print the results. You see how it will look like. I'll print these results. Okay, and let me stop the server and restart once again. Now you can see server is running, connected to database. Now if I go to my front end, if I refresh, just refresh this page, and if I click on this link, you see I got this connected to database and this details. You can see we have got the details of student. First student, name Suhail, age 19, email suhail.com. You got it. Actually this console.log results is printing this data in the console. It means we are getting data correctly from the backend. Fine. Now we just need to display this part in the front end. For that we are writing this table. I have created a row. Here what I will do, I will use a similar scripting tag for JavaScript, student.id. First value is what? ID. So use ID and then close this tag. Okay, and then next, this should be written in table data part. Okay, this should be written in table data part. Control V. Fine. This is the first data, and then in the same way we are going to have 4 data. One is ID, and then next I am going to show name. Here I am going to show name, and you see next I am going to show age. This is age, and then next I am going to show email. Here I am going to write email. Right. Now our code should work fine. Now we'll restart the server. If you want, you can restart. See, server running, database connected to database. You go back here, you refresh the page. Can you see the data in the front end? This is the data that we are getting from the front end. Isn't it very simple? See, you need to track where data is coming and it is in what form. Fine. Now there is some problem with the table. I am not able to see the lines of this table. This is the work of front end students. You see, I am not able to see the lines here. So what you can do is, you can go to this part in this table, and here you add border 1 pixel. You refresh the page, you will be able to see the lines. Got it? Anybody any doubt in this one? Now we have connected to database and we are able to get the data from the database. Fine. Now what I am going to tell you, some of you are asking me how we can add data to the database from the front end part. For that you will require to write one more function in the backend. That will be a post method. I will show you how you will write post method. You can go to the server part, and before that let me add a form here. Below the table I am going to add a form which is going to take values. Okay, which is going to take 4 values. I'll just create a h2 tag here. In this, add student details, right? Now I'm going to create a form here, form, and you should know that form will contain some of the attributes. This form is containing action attribute. Here I'm going to write slash add, anything you can write, but it is better to rename, give a meaningful name, add student. Okay, and here we have got method post. You have got two methods, get method and post method. Whenever you are putting the data into the database, you need to use this post method. Now in the form, you need to add three things. One, name of the student, age of the student, and then the email. You need not add this ID because it is getting auto incremented. Yesterday I have shown you. Now you see input type text. Here you will have to add another attribute called as name, and this name is name, and then placeholder also name, and this is required. Okay, this is the first page. Let me reload the page and check whether it is working fine or not. You can see I am getting name here, fine. And I want to add another element here, input. You see, first one was string, so I have written text. Second data, that is what? Number. So you need to write number here, number, and then name. You need to mention name of this one as age only, because when it will go in the backend, at that time it will take this particular name and go. So I'll write age here, and then placeholder. Placeholder means whatever you are able to see inside this one name, that is called as placeholder. Imagine I am not writing placeholder here, and I'll just say required, and if I reload this page, you can see this particular thing is empty. If you want to show some details here, you can go to this placeholder and write age here, and if you reload, you will be able to see age. You got it? Placeholder will help you to add some data, so that when user is entering, he should know what he should enter. Fine. Now I entered age, and I need to take email also. For taking email, what you do? Again input, and data type is what? Type is email type. You have got email type also in the HTML, and then this is email, and then ID not required as of now. Just write placeholder email, and then required. Okay. After this one, you need to add a button. Okay. We need to add a button. When you are adding a button, you need to say type submit. You have got type submit also, and you can write here add student. Okay, all those who are working on front end, you understood how the form was built. You need to understand all these attributes. There are so many attributes. You need to just explore all these things. Anybody any doubt in that one? I have just created a file. I have just created a form here. If I reload, you will be able to see I have got this. But when I fill this data, if I click, it is saying post add student cannot get post add student. This is because I have not written any code in the backend. I have just written it in the front end only. I have not written anything in the backend. Now I'll go to the backend and I'll show you what you can write. I wanted to add this data, but I am not able to add because I need to add some code here which will respond to this particular request. If I click submit, it is asking cannot get post. So what we will do, we'll write a post method in the backend. We'll come here. I have written get method here. I'm going to write post method app dot. This was get method. We can have a post method also. You see, app dot post, and post of what? Add student. Take this add student and go and paste it here. Whenever it finds add student post method, it will run this particular function. Which one? Request comma response. Same. This is a function. This is also same, means this is a function which is going to take two variables. And now what we are going to do is, we are going to first collect the data that is coming from the front end. Let me check whether it is coming from the front end or not. We'll just write console.log. Okay, we will not print this one. This is printing here. I don't want that, so I have removed that code from here. This is get function. I am just making it smaller. Now we see in the console.log, if you want to see whatever the data you are sending from the front end, I have entered this data, right? Karan Sambhaj Yadav 10 and Karan this email. If I click, that will go to the backend actually, and I want to see whether I am getting that data here or not. For that, what I will do, request comma body. Actually that will come in the form of body of the request. So I'll stop the server, I'll clear to show you whether I am getting the data or not, and just run the server once again. You see server is connected and connected to database. Now we need to actually refresh this page. Now we can fill the data here, John Doe and 20, email is something, okay, current state. And as soon as I click on this, you see this is loading. It means server is working on this. As soon as you come here, you see connected to database, whatever the data you typed there, you are able to see in the console. This is coming in the form of request.body, and you can see name John Doe, age 20, email karanstay@gmail.com. It means we are able to receive the data in the backend part. Okay, now what is our work? We need to push this particular data directly into the database. For that, what you need to do, you need to write a query, and before that let me collect this data into the variable. Okay, I hope you got this one. What is happening there? Whatever data I typed in the front end, it came into the back end and I am able to see it in the console. Fine. If you are not understanding, you need to ask me. I'll explain this one. Still it is loading because backend is not sending the data still. That is the problem, so it is still loading. Now we can show here response.send data reached backend. Data reached backend. This is just to give the front end user, tell the front end user that data has reached in the backend. Okay, we'll go back, we'll refresh this page. Now database is connected. You can see now John Doe 20, and if I click, you can see data reached backend. Actually it has reached here in the backend. I'm able to see this. This was just to show you that we are receiving the data in the backend. Here what you can do, I'll take 10 more minutes because this is the last step that I'm going to do. Now you see what we will do is, we'll collect the data here in a variable first, const, and just put this symbol name comma age and then email, and this is equal to request.body. Okay, whatever the data is coming from the request.body, you see first value will be stored in name, second value will be stored in this age, and then the third value will be stored in email. Okay, now what I will do, I'll write a HTML like not HTML query, I'm going to write a MySQL query. How you will write that? db.query. In this we will be writing inserting query. Okay, you might have seen here. Okay, this one, this inserting query, you can use it for inserting. We'll use this query. You can use this query, Control Z. Now you see I don't want to put this data, I don't want this data. Just give question marks, means you don't know what the data you want to put. Fine, and then you are going to pass these three values here. After comma you are going to pass these three values, that is name, age and email. Name, age and email. Now we have written this query. This will actually insert data in the place of name, age and email. Fine, and now what we will do after this, you see whenever you are running a query, I have written a query here, select star from students in the get function. After that I have written this function. You can use the same function here again if you want. Fine, I am using this function here after a comma. Okay, after a comma I am going to use a function. Okay, there is a issue. You see this is starting here, this is ending here. Okay, we are going to take only this part till here, means we are going to take this function and we are going to run the same thing, Control V. Now you see after inserting the data you will get a result. Okay, you will get a result or you will get a error. Error fetching the data we don't want, error adding the data, and then a response error in the server. If you are not able to add data into the server, you will get error in the server. And then we don't want this. After adding it, I want to go back to this page. Which page? The students page. What I will do? Response dot redirect slash student. Just use this one. I want to go back to this page. Control C, copy, and just paste it here. Fine. Now let me make a mistake here. I will remove this age and I'll put it here, and I'll just write name here. Means actually this is a mistake that I am making you. I am showing you because I want to show you what will happen if there is a error and you have written the code. Now you see actually this will run. Server is connected, database is running. It has connected. Okay, database is connected and server is running. Now if you go back and see, I'll refresh this page. You see database is connected. I am able to get the data. Now let me put this data into the database. If I click add student, you will see error in the server. This particular error is coming from the backend, error in the server. This error it is actually. Okay. Now that was because this age is integer, but I am trying to add it in the place of name. But name is actually varchar in the database, right? So you need to correct this one. I made that error purposefully because to show you what will happen if you are making some error in the database whenever you are writing backend. Now I have corrected it and I will just rerun my server. Okay, server is running, connected to database. You come back to this page, you refresh this. Now you can see I have got 4 details. Now what I will do, I'll try to add another name. Okay, Renuka, age is 18 and email gmail.com. Okay, and I add this. You see I got the data added. It actually went into the database. If you want, you can check here. You see at present I have got 4 and I execute this one. You see I have got 6. Renuka 18 renu@gmail.com. Got it. I was able to add data into database. Whatever you are typing in the backend, that is whatever you are typing in the front end form, that is getting added into the database directly. You understood? Now if you want, you can add another student details if you want. Okay, I'll add some name. I'm not getting any names here. Okay, Prajwal, age 19, email prajwal@gmail.com. gmail.com. Now if I click submit, you can see Prajwal getting added here. Fine. Now you see what will happen if you try to enter the same email. See, now let me add this one, 20, add student, error in the server. Can anyone tell me why I got that error? It is because email values are actually unique. You cannot have 2 emails same. You understood? That was the reason why I was not able to add that data into the database. Fine. Now this was all about from the front end, back end and database thing. And when you understand this clearly, you can start building any application. This is actually full stack development. Whatever I done, that is full stack development. It means you know about the database now, you know how to connect, you know how we can get the data into the front end and how you can send the data from the front end to the back end. Fine. Anybody any doubt in this one? If no doubt, Then anybody any doubts? Okay, fine. See, this thing will not be understood in a one go. It is bit difficult. You see, even if students are doing masters, they find it difficult to do this work because there are a lot of things that they need to understand. I have recorded this video because whenever you are doing this thing, just watch it and try to do that. Okay, fine. If there are no doubts, or if you are not understood something, you can actually watch the video again and again so that you will understand the things, and you can ask any doubt in the college. Fine, or you can ask on the WhatsApp. I'll be available. Okay, I have taken some extra 15 minutes. I think that is fine. But today it's over, and we'll see what we can do tomorrow onwards. Fine. I think there are no doubts. I'll take a leave. Good night.